This is Mike Money in the Money Pit?
Money Pit.
Is that what it's The Money Pit. With Jacob Carver from
The Butcher Shop.
And B. Brian Butcher Blades the Third from
Midnight's Gaming Emporium.
We're here to talk about 80s wrestling.
I think we're going to go with Bones.
We could do Bones.
Bones. That's been your nickname forever.
When we ever get 20 combined subscriptions, we're going to have Name Brian's nickname. So this gives people a chance to want to hit the subscribe button and feel part of the awesome experience that is the Money Pit. There you go. This is going to be about 80s cartoon characters, not Mr. Magoo or anything like that. The 80s wrestling cartoon characters. I'm going to start with a guy I don't think anybody here likes, but he did usher this in, Mr. Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. Whether we liked him or not, when he pinned the Iron Sheik, it created this, I will say, fucked up universe, but we were kids at the time. I guess Brian was like 3 if we were 10, because, you know, he's so much younger.
Yeah.
But we were kids at the time, and we liked the cartoon character aspect to a certain degree, and it maybe got me into some of these characters, but the minute Hogan won the belt, I couldn't wait for him to lose it. And when he finally did lose it, was to one of my all-time favorites, ooh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage, with the hottest woman ever in wrestling, in my opinion, definitely at that time, because you looked at Moolah and went, I wouldn't hit that on a bet. Where Elizabeth was just like, she had class, she just looked good. You didn't know that she was blowing Luger and everybody else. Different episode though. But anyways, Randy Savage, great on the mic, was a great heel, he could wrestle, and he actually got the belt. He had the big tournament win, but of course Hogan had to cheat to help him win it, but we won't talk about that.
I guess you could consider Randy Savage like one of the first high flyers because of
yes.
Jumping off the ropes and using the elbows and shit.
Yes.
No one really did that before he did.
Yes, you're right. The flying axe handle.
Except for Mil Mascaras.
Mil Mascaras did it like some 10 years prior. Some 10 years prior. Then we had another big name in there was Jake the Snake Roberts, and a lot of people remember he was wrestling for crack years later, which I'm sure he doesn't want to hear about, but I met him so many years, I don't know, 10 years now, 5 years? It's been a little while. He is one big SOB, because if you look at the picture, it looks like I'm sitting down and I'm standing. The guy's got to be at least 6'6", 6'8". He was huge. Nice guy, talked to us and all that, but he was good. He did the mind games. He had you beat before you even were in the ring. This guy did the psychological stuff. I'm trying not to laugh at that. I was a big fan. Loved Jake the Snake Roberts. Well, how about Roddy Piper? Anybody got anything to say about him? I thought he was awesome. The Rowdy Scott. No? Okay, then I'm going to have to talk about Roddy Piper. Another one on the mic.
Are you here to kick ass and chew bubblegum?
That's They Live. Or I'm all out of bubblegum.
No, that was the Frog Tap.
No, it was They Live. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. But he did the psychological warfare. And he will tell you, he created Hulkamania, because did people go to see Hulk Hogan win? Or did people go to see Hulk Hogan kick Roddy Piper's ass? I believe Piper. He created Hulkamania because people hated him so bad they just wanted to see him get his comeuppance. How about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? He used to drive me crazy. Heck of a wrestler. Cheated my boy in WrestleMania 3. I know it's not a work. God damn it. He cheated. It ain't right. In my opinion, that was the best match I've ever seen. WrestleMania 3.
I guess you can liken Steamboat to Jake Roberts as he brought that fucking iguana to the ring. So Jake brought his assortment of snakes. So, I mean, even though Jake was a fucking heel and Ricky was a face.
Well, they did this when they wrestled each other, if I remember right. They had a feud, and because Jake had the snake, he brought the iguana or whatever it was, the lizard, the licking lizard. Wait a minute, that's another episode. Yeah, he brought that out. Another one that we'll talk about, and I did not like him. He was a cancer, and you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but you know what, Ultimate Warrior? Fuck you. You were a piece of fucking garbage. You couldn't wrestle. You couldn't talk on the mic. That's all you did is snort. I mean, I've heard retards do. I just offended retards, so we're done. Couldn't stand the guy. How they had him pin Hogan cleanly was just. I guess he was supposed to be the second coming of Hogan, but if you didn't like Hogan, you wouldn't like the Warrior, right?
Yep, because he was just a
shake the ropes.
Crappy knockoff.
A very crappy knockoff. Some of the
Yeah, to me, like the Warrior was just a steroided version of Chief J. Strong, or less,
or a more steroided version of Hogan.
Yeah.
Then we got the Big Boss Man that somebody brought up that he was actually a pretty big name. Also was Big Bubba Rogers in NWA WCW. He was in a lot of the main events. He was the guy going after Hogan. As Big Bubba Rogers, he used to be impressive. As Big Boss Man, I'm like, who is this moron? But, you know, he was always there. Another one, and I know you met him, the Honky Tonk Man.
The greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
And how he did it was smoke and mirrors. The rumor was, I've always read this, Butch Reed was supposed to beat Ricky Steamboat for the Intercontinental Championship, and he didn't show up. And as Hogan's talking to Vince or whoever's booking, all of a sudden Honky walks by and goes, what about him? And the rest is history. They put the belt on him, and he had it for whatever it was, 15 months, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. I don't know if, because I haven't seen it in 15 years, maybe that record doesn't stand. I have a nice Honky Tonk story, though. He wrestled, they used to have wrestling at, I'd go to Wildwood, New Jersey on vacation, and they had wrestling on the beach, and he was in the main event. I think he wrestled Candido. So this is just unheard of. I paid $5 to go watch it at the beach, and it was him against Candido with Sonny there. I think it was Fat Sonny, though, but that's neither here nor there. But it was just for a main event. But I remember he's standing there, and I'm walking out, and I went up to him and went, greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And he went, thank you. I went, Randy Orton. And he looked at me and went, you wish. And he started laughing. It was awesome. It was just one of those moments you wish you had on film or whatever. Okay, a couple of the tag teams we talked about. How about the British Bulldogs? They were probably the premier tag team with the Hart Foundation because they feuded for I don't know how long.
About 5 years.
Yeah, they were the two probably biggest tag teams at that time. And a little bit on my favorite manager of all time, Bobby Heenan. He just, I don't think there was ever anybody better on the mic, in the ring. He just was so entertaining. I could talk about him for the longest time, but we won't. Do we want anything else, or are we going to wrap the first one up on that?
I think we can just wrap that up on that.
Okay, well, this is Jacob Carver.
Jacob Carver.
Whatever he is, B. Brian Butcher, and Mike Money saying, fuck off.
Cha-ching.